Hi everyone, and welcome to the Book Refuge, and welcome to probably my most anticipated video of this whole new year happening. So, I'm super excited today to share with you the TBR game that I've been talking about, as well as my first TBR for 2020. I'm so excited. So we have a couple things to get through, so we'll dive right in. First, I want to talk about the TBR game that I mentioned about a month ago, and here's a little bit of info behind it. So it's going to involve a deck of cards and a list of reading prompts that I made up myself based on the physical TBR that I own. So if you've been watching my 2020 reading list videos I put up during the whole month of December, I really want to get through more of my physical TBR. I'm not going on a book buying ban. I'm not going to stop buying what I want, but I do want to get through some books that I've maybe owned for longer than others, and reading just one of those a month from my previous hauls, which you guys always vote on for me, and we do have one of those to go through today. I really want some prompts that are going to help me to dig through those, but I also don't want to overwhelm myself. So what I came up with, and this is super basic bitch of me, is I was like, I see some people's amazing ones, like their bingo boards, their wheel of TBR, their, Bookopoly that Becca did, which is freaking amazing. And I just didn't want to have to think that hard to create it. So what I did is I was like, what's something that I have at home that I don't have to decorate or do anything to? And I thought of dice, which that only gives you so many combinations of numbers to go with. There are lots of different ways I could do that. I was like, I could use 2 different colored dice and each thing means something, but I was like, no, too hard. So I was like, what's something that will give me lots of reading prompts, but will be really easy to do and to show you guys? And so I came up with using a deck of cards and giving every card in the deck a reading prompt. So I have 54 cards because we're including the jokers. I think I said that right. And then for every one, I just made a sheet. I made a reading prompt. So I'm not going to read every single one of them out. That'll be the fun you'll get to see based on what I draw. And then each month, I'm going to deal myself 5 cards from the deck, and then they'll get shuffled back in because a lot of these I want to have them multiple times, and you'll see based on how easy they are. They're really basic prompts. Some of them are reread a 5-star book, finish a book that you DNF'd, read a book over 500 pages. They're all just really basic ones. There's even some fun ones like ask a friend for a recommendation, have my sister tell me what to read. There's some that are action challenges, like write 10 Goodreads reviews or read 3 of the worst rated books on your TBR. One of the, and as well as there are these punishment squares, which are the jokers. So the first one is buy no new books until you finish this month's TBR, which I thought was particularly nasty and clever of me. And the other joker is buy no new books this month. So there's that. And then, yeah, so I will be doing this. We will do this in just a minute here. First, I want to tell you, I have 3 books that I want to read in January, and so I'm going to try to fit them into the prompts. And this is the part that's a little bit like how Becca does it. So if for some reason these books don't fit into these prompts, I'll kind of still need to read them because one of them is one that you pick for me, and one of them I'm already previously committed to reading it. So there is a chance that that could happen, but I've kept the prompts pretty vague. And again, I'm only going to do 5 of them. And if you know me, I usually read between 10 and 20 books a month, so it shouldn't be too hard. So the ones that I need to get through in January is I need to read The Fiery Cross because season 5 of Outlander starts in February, and I want this read and annotated beforehand because, as I've said, I'm going to be doing episode by episode reviews for season 5, and I can't wait for that. So I need to get to this somehow. The book you guys picked for me to read was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This won by a landslide in the poll. So I need to fit this one in somehow. And then one of the books that has got pushed off for 2 months now, and I feel bad, is Cold Falling White by J.S. Pendergast, which is a new release from November, and I really want to get to it, but it's probably not going to happen. There's only a few days left of December. And with traveling and stuff, I'm probably not going to get to it. So I'm going to move it into January. And then all the rest of the books, I'm either going to try to take from my 2020 reading list or, you know, what one of the prompts is. So now the second thing that we'll be doing after I do this is I am participating in Romanceopoly this year. If you've been around with me for a while, you know that I did it last year, or this, you know, in 2019, and I did fairly well. I made it about 80% through the board, which if you don't know, Romanceopoly is run by Peace Love Books, Jess at Peace Love Books, and then the gals at Under the Covers book blog, which I'll link Romanceopoly down below in case you're interested. And it is a Monopoly board with all these different prompts that help you read different kinds of romances. And this year they have a double track because a lot of people finished it pretty quickly. And so there's 2 sets of prompts. So what I did is, so I have the one that can fit in your planner. So here's the board. It's in this one where, like, if you were rolling dice, you would roll it and, like, this is how you go around the board. But what I did is I took all of the prompts from both tracks and I just picked the ones that I wanted to do. So there is quite a few that I ended up taking out because I just have no interest in reading that category. And again, both of these reading challenges, I want them to help me read what I already own, and I don't really want to branch out. But for everybody else, Romanceopoly is to help you read books you might not normally read. So what I did is I took all of the prompts and on their site, you can get these little cards that are like the Monopoly squares, and they have recommendations for every category. So I went through, and if I liked one of their recommendations, I chose it. Otherwise, I put one of my own books on there, and I put them all in my Not Merciful mug. And I'm just going, this for January, I'm just going to draw 2, but as I finish these, I might draw more if I want to read another one. So that was far too much talking. Let's get on to the main event here. So I'm going to lay this out, and I'm going to deal myself 5 cards here. All right. So I'm going to like deal one and ditch one, deal one and ditch one. Here, I'll move you guys down. So I'm going to deal, ditch. All right. All right. So let's go through the prompts now and see what we got. So the first one is a 6 of clubs, which is read your most recent purchase. Is How Rory Thorne Destroyed the Universe by Kay Easton. That is so funny. That's funny. So this is book 1 of the Thorne Chronicles. And this book is Rory Thorne is a princess with 13 fairy blessings, the most important of which is to see through flattery and platitudes. As the eldest child, she always imagined she'd inherit her father's throne and govern the interplanetary Thorne Consortium. Then her father is assassinated, her mother gives birth to a son, and Rory is betrothed to the prince of a distant world. Wow, the plot thickens. When Rory arrives in her new home, she uncovers a treacherous plot to unseat her newly betrothed and usurp his throne. An unscrupulous minister has conspired to name himself regent to the minor and somewhat foolish prince. With only her wits and a small team of allies, Rory must maneuver the region and rescue the prince. Wow, that sounds cool. So it's like a fairy tale story in space. I remember thinking that it was cool, but I forgot this was my last purchase. So this will be the first book on my TBR of 2020. That's so exciting. All right. So the next one is the 9 of clubs. And that prompt is read a book with a strong villain. I know what I'll do. This is a book that I actually need to finish. So it wasn't really a DNF, even though it kind of was. But let's go with it. This book I know has a super strong villain because I really like the villain in the series. So I'm going to put Soul of the Sword by Julie Kwaga on here. The villain in this one is this demon that possesses a sword. And I don't want to give spoilers, but He's wreaking havoc. And I really loved The Shadow of the Fox. And then when The Soul of the Sword came out, I just wasn't in the mood for this kind of a world. But since the prompt is read a book with a strong villain, this seems like the perfect time. So this is a little bit of a cheat because it's one I've already started, but it needs to get finished and I want to finish it. So let's go with The Soul of the Sword. All right, the next one is The Ace of Hearts. And that one is finish a previous DNF. You know, that's perfect because I'm just going to double up with that one maybe. Should I do that? Spoke too soon. We're going to do this one for both because I still haven't got a way to use my other 3 books and I don't want to stack everything up too much. So Soul of the Sword is going to double up for read a book with a strong villain and finish a previous DNF. That works for me. I like it. Next, we have the 5 of Spades, which is start a new trilogy. Okay, here we go. So this is one of my 2020 reading lists where I wanted to start new series. So let me look real quick. Let's see which one I want to start. I'm going to choose Ruined by Amy Tintera. So Ruined, this trilogy has been on my list for a long time. It's already come and gone through my over a year ago purchases. It didn't get voted on that time, but I know this one is about a girl who she goes undercover into a kingdom. She's trying to work on a revenge plot, and I think it's gonna be like a hate to love situation because she kind of falls for the enemy a little bit, and I'm really intrigued by it. I know Murphy liked the first one. She just didn't like the rest of the series, but it sounded like something I would really like, so I've had this trilogy for like a super long time, and this is the year to do it. I'm great. This is exactly what I wanted this game to do for me, is to get me to finish books that I've been holding on to forever. So very excited for that. And then the final one is the Jack of Spades, which gives us read a fantasy. Perfect. This, we're going to put No Me Novik in for this one. We're going to put Uprooted in for my fantasy. Perfect. I was getting a little nervous there for a second. I understand the stress that Becca goes through sometimes when you don't get the books you want. So Uprooted is going to be book number 4 for this. Okay, so now I still have 2 books I need to fit in, but I'm going to draw 2 of the Romanceopoly prompts. There's a lot in here, so I'm just shoving this down in my... I'm not looking down, but it's easier to move them around because the cup is just a little too small for it, you know? Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Oh, this is perfect, actually. I'm going to do this. So this one is read a historical fiction, and it's Past Eves. And this is perfect because the Fiery Cross is definitely historical fiction. So that takes care of the Fiery Cross. Oh, goody. I'm so excited. Perfect. So there's that. So I'll keep that prompt. See, I didn't write anything on this one because I knew it would work for an Outlander one, because some of them have ideas on them. Okay, so I'm going to draw one more, and then I still have Cold Falling White that I want. Otherwise, we'll pick whatever's on this card, and that'll only put me at 7 books, so I'm not too worried. Oh my gosh, this is so great. So this one is read a historical romance where the title is longer than 5 words. So I'm going to go into my room where I have all my historical romance, and I'll be right back. Okay, perfect. I always want to add a historical romance to my list. So I picked Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa Dare, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words in the title. I think this is a start of a different series, or it's a standalone, so I'm good, because I didn't want to be in the middle of one of the series I'm reading, but we're going to pick that one for... This was The Cobbles, by the way. They like the squares have names. So I ended up getting 2 historical romance ones. Well, a historical fiction and historical romance are my 2 for this. So then that just leaves me with Cold Falling White, which I will add. And so that gives me 7 books for January 2020. And I feel so good about this, guys. Like, I'm sure it will not always go this well for me, but I feel genuinely like sure that I can get through these. And there's a couple I'm really excited for. So, oh, one thing I forgot to mention, the book that you guys vote on, which was Uprooted, I do this as a buddy read every month. So I have a Discord server, which is always linked down below. And each month I add a new group I add a new like hashtag in it for the book we're buddy reading. This month we buddy read An Unkindness of Magicians together, which was amazing. I loved it so much. And then in January we're going to do Uprooted. So there's also channels on my Discord for us just to talk. We've just had some new people join recently, and it's so much fun because we just talk about whatever we're reading and we have a great time. So thank you so much for watching this. I'm so excited. I had so much fun putting this together, and I look forward to doing it for this year, and I really hope it helps me get through a lot of the books that I already own. So thank you so much for watching. I put up new videos every Monday, Wednesday. Wait, I put up new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Wow, sorry, forgot. And you can watch some more of my videos right now. Bye.